Boom. Boom. I guess that means we're live now.
Yes, sir.
But I was sitting here thumbing through this issue of Captain America 699. Like I still haven't read it yet, but like I was looking for some kind of prominent stuff. It's like it's got the Incredible Hulk versus the Thing on it. And like right now in the books, like Cap is he got frozen in time again. So he's like, but he's not like 70 years in the future. He's only like 5 or 6 years in the future, and it's a complete wasteland. Who would have thought Captain America was the glue of the world or of the nation? But anyways, it's just this panel of him right here. And he's just like, I don't know who this guy is, but he looks like a real character. But like that's what's been fun about these Captain America books. Like they've been like old school. Like they feel like old school like Cap stories. Like it's just Cap fighting bad guys. Like some crazy bad guys, but not like too crazy bad guys. And like apparently 5 years in the future, like little dogs are running around with jackets and clothes on, like people clothes. And, there's like mutated people, but they're not quite, like mutants, but they're like, I don't know, I guess they're aliens or something. But anyways, like on this panel, it's just Cap all stern faced. He's like, give me my country back.
So you said 699, so it's gonna about 700 is about to drop then.
Yeah, 700 I believe will drop sometime next month, and like the title of it is Steve Rogers, King of America, but it's still set in this kind of like future wasteland, and it looks like it has some like extra little bonuses in it with being a 700th issue. Yeah, let's see. Trapped in a world he never made, it's up to Steve Rogers to rebuild civilizations in a decimated future. But like the Thing is here, and like the Incredible Hulk is here, and then little dog man guy, he's here, and a couple other ragtag. They look like wreckers, and I love wreckers.
I'm so out of touch with the Marvel stuff. Like so they wrapped up the whole like Steve Rogers' is Hydra deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude,
the whole Cap was bad.
That was probably my favorite Captain. Like it's second favorite because like I still really like the Brubaker run or Brubaker or whatever. But like definitely like Nick Spencer's Captain America was, I mean like it like dude, it was so good. Like it was definitely refreshing, with what that actually was. I felt like it was kind of a cop out at the end. Like it was actually like Comic made. Like kind of like she made him into a clone, but not necessarily a clone. But she rewrote his entire, past life into what the Red Skull essentially like his perfect vision of Steve Rogers like would have been, which was awesome. Like it was super trippy. Like apparently he'd been like working for Hydra this whole time. And like I remember like taking the book out of context, which a lot of like social media did. They were like, okay, so is this Steve Rogers like new past? Like has this always been his past? But it was just a cosmic entity that kind of rewired his way of thinking. Like the rest of the world still thought the same, but like he didn't. And like with how persistent Captain America is. He made sure that like whenever he took over, it was like there were new history books and, like apparently Dr. Erskine wasn't responsible for the formula anymore. It was Arnim Zola, I think. But all kinds of crazy stuff. Dude, it wrapped up so cool.
All right. Yeah, I remember there was a lot of uproar from people like, oh, how can they do this? You can't do that to Cap. And, how is he like a Nazi?
Oh, dude, Jose,
yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Gangster as fuck the last issue, like because like whenever the actual Secret Empire thing started, like I want to say it was either in number 0 or the Free Comic Book Day, I can't remember which one, but like so he's taken out everyone one by one, and so he puts in a contingency to get rid of all the big hitters, the people that he knows he can't take on head to head, and like Thor was one of them, Jane Thor. And so she drops the hammer like on the White House front lawn, and he just walks up to it and picks it up and shows the entire world that like Hydra, evil Steve Rogers, Captain America is worthy. Like who's gonna argue with him? Like everyone knows that you have to be worthy to sling that hammer. and he did it. And then that was the whole it made a full circle. Like at the very end, um, like good Cap and bad Cap, they're just fighting it out, and
Mm-hmm.
like some of the coolest artwork. But they're evenly matched. You know what I mean? Like Falcon throws Cap the disc shield, and he's like, "Here you go, Cap," and they're duking it out, evenly matched, and they both see the hammer, and they both start like tumbling over each other to get the hammer, and then Evil Cap gets his hand on it first, but he can't pick it up, and he's struggling, and so Good Cap goes, "Let me give you a hand with that," and he picks it up and just boom, like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
dude, it was so cool. But
Nice.
that bad Captain America, like he's still out there, like, he didn't die or disappear or nothing like that.
He's locked
He's
up.
part of. Yeah, well, it looked like at the end of if you read the Omega issue, it looked like some Hydra purists broke him out. So we could be seeing him as a spinoff, Captain Hydra or some shit like that. But there's
Mm.
still plenty for them to do with him, and like Tales of Suspense sort of picked up where that story left. I'm expecting to see him in Tales of Suspense, if I'm being honest. Um, and that's been good. Like that's been my like anticipated book each month for sure.
Nice. How long did that run last? That Cap as Hydra storyline.
Like a year and a half.
So I ran like
Um,
last
So
summer.
12
Yeah,
18 issues or so.
I want to say maybe 2 years. I want to say it started in 15 and it ran all the
No,
way through.
no, it started last year.
No, Secret Empire did, but the whole like the Steve Rogers book, I want to say that was like
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was summer of 2015. No, well, maybe summer
16.
of 2016. Yeah, so about a year and a half.
All right. I'll try to specifically like look for those so I could check out like that storyline. I know
Yeah, and
I
I mean
like
like
read the first issue, and you find out at the end you see like the big reveal, and it was just like, oh
yeah,
shit, but I didn't
he
read
says Hail
anything past
Hydra.
that.
You're like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
But like there's a lot like that kind of like um kind of goes into that like you'll want to read the Avengers standoff series, which was told over like the course of several different books. But like there's condensed versions, like there's a way you can just get the standoff series. I think it was called Standoff. Yeah, Standoff. Standoff at Pleasant Hill. You'll read that, and then you'll read like or you'll check out like Captain America Sam Wilson, like the first I want to say 6 issues of that, and that kind of bleeds over into Standoff at Pleasant Hill, and then then that's when the books were split. You had Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers,
Yeah.
both Captain America books, and then that led into Secret Empire.
Okay.
Which
Yeah, I'm so behind with Marvel. Just with everything. Like I haven't been keeping up with any of their books.
Yeah, and like Blue and Gold played into Secret Empire too, and like I'm so pissed off that I decided to drop those books because like I dropped them right at like the beginning of the Secret Empire story, and like Mutant Nation had a lot to play into that story, like especially Magneto, and he had some real gangster ass parts in Secret Empire as well.
Nice. Yeah, I've been reading more like the independent stuff. Invincible, which just like recently wrapped up its run. Real incredible run that Kirkman had on that book with the artist Ryan Otley. I think he's moving on to do this new Spider-Man #1 that's coming out in a couple of months. His artwork, man, has improved like throughout the entire run, like of that title. So it's cool to see him doing a nice like mainstream superhero like Spider-Man, like because he's got like a nice style, almost like cartoony looking, to be interesting to see like how he does Peter Parker. Savage Dragon, which is like always a favorite. Eric Larson still writing, drawing, inking the book. He's done every single issue since it started, like over 20-something years ago. So And that book is really cool if nobody's aware, because it's like a generational story. He does it in real time. So in the 25 plus years that the book has been out, that's how many years have passed in the book. So Dragon's had a kid, and his kid's grown up. Now his kid has a kid, and it's pretty crazy, everything that goes on in that book. So
I found that, like, the writer, like, whenever they write and and draw the book, like it has like a special feel to it.
Yeah, and especially like there at Image, like he always says that he's doing the book he wants to do, and you could see, when he experiments on an issue, like here and there, like sometimes he experiments with artwork or with lettering, with his inking, like sometimes the book, emulate like a certain style, like he was drawing kind of like in a Jack Kirby type style, about 10 years ago or so. And you could just see like how he's evolved from like the early days to now, and how he still like experiments with the book. Sometimes even with just like the panels and the grids and the way he sets the book up,
Right.
Really, really cool. And it's just like he says he loves it, and that's why he still does it, because that's what he got into comics to do, the stuff that he wants. And he has the freedom. It's his book, so he has the freedom to do whatever he wants. That's why he doesn't want anybody else to write it or draw it or whatever, because it's, he wants to just have a complete run, and it's everything that he wants to do. Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Yeah, that is cool, man.
What's up, Walt? What you been reading, Walt?
Oh, I gotta pick up some this week. My anticipation for ASM 797, man. Supposed to be with a major death. And I gotta pick up Detective Comics, Bats, and my other anticipated book I'm waiting for is for Superman Action Comics 1000.
Oh yeah. That's gonna be a big one. That's dope. Can't wait for that one. Supposed to be like a big issue, a lot of different like people contributing to it.
Yeah, the first comic to have it.
Yeah, number 1000. I think
that's crazy. Something. Yep, that's incredible.
I hope I get to.
I got 997. I get to
the point.
That's the last issue I got here.
Where Cap is, he gets 1,000 issues. Like, I'm sure he will, but.
Well, see, they could always work it like it's going to be years away, but sometimes they do the book twice a month, or sometimes even with Spider-Man, I remember it was coming out 3 times a month. You know what I'm saying? So if they do something like that, you could probably see it sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I want to say, which during the Secret Empire stuff, the Cat books were coming out bi-weekly, so we'll see.
Also, I was thinking about getting that Punisher, because he got on that War Machine armor. I'm like, I might have to read that.
Really?
Yeah, he's got the War Machine armor.
Which issue does that start at?
Oh, it starts in the 220 something. And it's like, man, he's got the War Machine armor. He's got the skull on there. I'm like, man, that's cool as hell. So I might have to check that out.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
I saw that the Marvel is also supposed to be doing like a whole slate of like number ones now, right? Coming summertime.
Yeah, by May.
It looks like a lot of the books are like starting over, so probably like another nice little jumping on point for people that want to kind of see what's going on.
Man, I really don't like that shit. Like, they just went back to legacy numbers. Like, it hasn't even been a whole year since it's literally been like 2 or 3 months of legacy numbers.
Yeah, strange choice. I was wondering if they were just doing this like for like extra books, and if they were just going to continue the other titles with the legacy numbering, just keep it. But these would be separate, just like a new line of books.
Yeah, I mean, apparently it's continuing like the stories that are still being told. I mean, really and truly, like they started like the Captain America books, like they went to the legacy numbering after Secret Empire Omega. And it was like, that was the start of a new story, but who's going to pick up a book at 696 or 695 or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, and like think, oh, hey, this is a new issue, or this is a new jumping on point.
Well, that's why they do it. That's why they do the number ones, because they figure those high issue numbers are daunting, But that's like the kind of stuff that I was just talking about. Eric Larson, like he embraces like the Savage Dragon is like in the 230s. now. So he's like, it's incredible.
Right.
Like he's like, it's a number that's that high. Just shows longevity.
Right, especially from an independent publication.
Yeah, Spawn's up there too. That's another one because those are like one of the only two like original books like still being published by Image.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even know Spawn was still going. Like, I didn't know Todd McFarlane was still getting it.
Yeah, that's still coming out.
His toys still suck, but
Yeah, I haven't picked up a McFarlane Toys figure in a long time. I think the last one I got was that Violator. It was the clown from
yeah.
I think I want to say like from 2010, 2011, somewhere around there. Cool, like it's a static figure. Like it doesn't pose or you can't do anything with it, but you just put it on the shelf.
all of his shit's static anymore. Like he used to he used to have like really good figures, man. Like I'm pretty bummed, like because I was buying McFarlane toys whenever they were coming out in the Halo line. And dude, his Halo toys were awesome. But yeah. You said Violator, I think Rapey the Clown. But
yeah, it's not what it once was. I used to work in a hobby store in the 90s and stuff when his stuff first came out, and it was really hot like back then. Everybody wanted it. Because Image was hot, and you had the movie, and then a little bit later on the animated, HBO series came out, and so he probably did the best as far as like getting his character and his brand like out there into the mainstream out of all the Image guys,
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. But like, I do kind of take that back, man. I bought, he did the Destiny figures for the video game.
Mm-hmm.
I bought one of those. I expected more to come out of that line, but they didn't. So, that's what I get for having high expectations. But it was better. It was better than like the Halo 4 stuff, Halo 4 and Halo 5 stuff he put out. Like I'm so happy Mattel got their hands on that property to do toys. Like Mattel doing a bang up job. Like I know like Mattel gets its fair share of hate, but they are doing a bang up job with the Halo toys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never knew the quality of his stuff outside the comic book stuff, like so I know he did like the sports line. The movie Maniacs I thought were pretty cool. But like the Matrix stuff that he did and then anything else like you're saying like the Destiny and the video game stuff, like I never really actually got on hands with them, so couldn't really say like how they were or not.
I didn't even know he did stuff for the Matrix.
Yeah, dude, they did so much shit. Like they did separate characters. He did kind of like play sets. Like so the scene where I think it was like Neo and Smith like going at each other in the subway tunnel when they were shooting at each other, kind of like flying through the air. Like he had like a set of figures that was that. It was like that scene. Again, shit. you couldn't do anything with them but put them on the shelf. But
right.
He did have like a line of them. I think he put out a Sentinel figure. With all the tentacles and stuff, for the time, nice looking stuff, just, real static.
Right. I mean, his stuff's always been like as far as paint go, like paint and, all that other stuff, like it's always been second to none, in my opinion.
Yeah. At a time when it wasn't out there like at that for toys and stuff, you didn't get paint.
Yeah. Like even as honestly, even as far back as recent as like 2010. There wasn't anything like his stuff on the shelves,
wow.
Paint wise.
Wow, even
he sacrificed a little bit for plastic, but like it went to a well-deserved area in the paint, I felt.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
But I have been wanting to pick up some of his Walking Dead figures, like pack with Negan and Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really want the Glenn, if I'm being honest. I just want the Negan, and I don't know if they've done a Negan just by itself. But I saw him the other day. I was like, man, that's hurtful. Like just seeing that 2-pack, I'm like, oh, now I feel sad.
What, Negan and Glenn?
Yeah, because it's not like spry, happy-go-lucky. We're going camping, Glenn. No, it's Maggie. I love you, Glenn.
They had the accessory. They had it all. Oh man.
Dude, I may be just imagining this, but like I feel like in the box he was even on his knees. Like I don't know. I don't think it was, but like that's definitely like I saw it in a GameStop, and I try not to like stay inside GameStops for too long.
Mhm.
But yeah, like that's just like at glance, I was like, huh, but
I
that was that.
haven't I haven't seen that, man. I'd love to see it because I would wonder if they'd take it there, and you just said yeah. So wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, like it was definitely like sweaty, nervous, Glenn for sure. Um, I don't know if it had like a whole bunch of blood on him or anything like that, but I mean they took it far enough to put him in a 2-pack together. So
If they had the bashed in like head accessory though, that'd be fucking crazy.
oh yeah, like I
Oh,
wasn't even looking for accessories, but it was a
That's what I
fairly big
mean.
box.
oh,
That's what I
That's
oh.
that's
mean.
that's every diorama maker's wet dream right there. Just get Bastion Glenn head look. Oh
Damn.
man.
Ooh.
The eye popped out, that was like, oof, that was hard to see.
Dude, that
Even
was
though
like, yeah, I was surprised to see that on TV.
that was rough.
But
Even knowing, that was
yeah,
still
oh
rough.
yeah, it was. I guess it kind of brings us sort of into our topic. I guess if we're done talking about comics, I still haven't read Scarlet Strike Force #3. It's the last one of the canceled book, and like I'm no fan of Citizen, like not by any stretch. I more or less just read the books to make sure I was up to date on like everything that was going on in the Transformers IDW shared universe. But I will give him this: like, as much as I hated his run of GI Joe, the issue #2 of Scarlet Strike Force, 1 and 2, really. I do remember like enjoying them. Like they felt like crazy GI Joe adventures. Like even though they were in a weird jungle with like dinosaurs and shit, um, it still felt like a fairly fun GI Joe story.
Mhm.
But I
Want to
haven't read #3 yet.
You know what? If you want to read a good GI Joe story, you're gonna have to read some of the stuff from Image and Devil's Due. That was good.
I didn't even know
Especially,
Image and Devil's Due had their hands on GI Joe.
yeah, it all happened when the licensing of the '80s properties happened back in late. No, it was early 2000. No, early 2001 or 2002. It's
Yeah, it was like,
Image. Yeah,
yeah.
Image had GI Joe, and they had Masters of the Universe there too. And I think Image was part of Wildstorm, so they had Thundercats. Dreamwave got Transformers. They also had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Voltron. They also had that,
Yeah.
which is pretty interesting. And I'm gonna hit something up here with you guys, which y'all probably don't know and no one else don't know. I have a friend of mine that used to work for Marvel. He gave me the breakdown that back in the day, Marvel was supposed to do a three part what if issue Transformers the movie. It dealt with Starscream, Optimus, and Megatron. Marvel never got around to doing that.
Was it the
Now,
one where it was like, what if? What was it like? What if Starscream? I'm trying to remember. Like IDW did something very
Yeah. They just
Transformers
put,
the movie. Like,
yeah,
what
no,
if
it was
Optimus didn't
Optimus.
die?
It
yeah.
was Optimus. It was
Yeah.
Optimus. But Marvel was supposed to do it back in the day. Now, for the Beast War fans out there too, when Dreamwave had that summer special, I think late 2002 or 2003, where you get the vote in that issue. Dreamwave was going to do the it's going to be Beast Wars after season 3, where they're leaving Earth. It was supposed to be called the Trial of Megatron. And I think what they were going to do was erase the Beast Machine continuity and just keep going with Beast Wars after that.
See, like I get people hate Beast Machines. Like I'm not one of the people that hates Beast Machines. But like I think like dude, that would just overall, as just a fan of both properties, that would kind of piss me off. But I think it would be cool as shit, however, to have kind of seen like, post season 3, pre Beast Machines, like exactly how Megatron took over, not just like a 45-second explanation with, flashy CGI from the early 2000s.
No, it was the teaser for the artwork to where it was going to be called The Trial of Megatron. That's what it was leading up there to, and like when Dreamwave hit their bankruptcy, that was it.
All got pulled. Well, IDW, took over and took the continuity.
Yeah, like
heights,
yeah, absolutely.
Which is
don't get me wrong. Like, I think Dreamwave could have done good stories, but
yeah, they were doing them. They weren't doing them. They just demanded. It was the management of the company that was just no good.
They got greedy. They got greedy.
But I mean, like, my deal is like I don't feel like they could have taken us to where we are now. Like, and I don't know if they would have had as many freedoms to do it either, respectively.
Yeah.
Especially with like James Roberts' work like that. James Roberts, he's had a lot of freedoms to do what he's wanted to do. Like he didn't have to, like, the only time he ever had to bring in his book to Hasbro mandate was for Dark Cybertron. But like he, like all he did for Combiner Wars was ship off a Combiner characters, and of course they finally made their way back recently. But like, he wasn't anywhere to do with any of that. He didn't have any part of First Strike. Titans Return, his kind of contribution to that was, dealing with characters he's placed in other, places, kind of held in reserve, I guess. It's all done very smart, very smart.
Well, that's probably why the compromise is to have all the books. Yeah, like that's probably why the compromise is to have all the books. Like he could have like the More Than Meets the Eye and Now Lost Light, where you could kind of leave it untouched, and then you have those other books where if Hasbro's laying down the mandate, like you got to do this, you got to do that, then you have the other books for that. He's probably like, leave my shit alone.
Yeah, like he was just like, get Barber to do it. And I'll be honest, man, like even with all that mandated Hasbro stuff, Barber has done an exceptional job, like doing what he can to keep these stories interesting, like especially with this this Prime stuff, with the 13 Primes and all that. Like there's so much speculation as to who the 13th one is. Like Onyx keeps calling Optimus Arisen, which is supposedly the 13th Prime, and Optimus is just like, you just call me Optimus, like stop with the bullshit. But clearly Onyx isn't, like, he's there with an ulterior motive, and he came in with Liege Maximo in tow, like all chained up and shit, and it's so much depth I feel in this story compared to Titans Return, which more or less I think was a Till All Are One deal, but also like that was handled really good. Compared to Combiner Wars. Now, I didn't hate the by a stretch. It just wasn't as big and boisterous as I thought it was going to be.
Dude, what it was just a marketing play, just to get the toys on out. That's basically what it was.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's all marketing ploys at this point. Yeah. Like anything Hasbro pushes is going to be that, but like I still felt that it was done well.
Yeah.
But like this whole, what appears to, I guess, maybe being Power of the Primes or whatever, like this shit's starting out real good. Like the momentum, we kind of had like a strong buildup of momentum to First Strike, and then it kind of died down, and then we got Transformers versus the Visionaries out of it. But I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
I'm sure nobody asked for that, right? Transformers versus Visionaries.
I take that back. Like, I am. That's on my pull list. Just is.
I'm reading it. Like, I'm regretfully reading it. Like, I'm not at all happy about that at all. It's just not like, I thought it had promise to be a good story, because like I dig crossovers, like you guys know that.
The only reason why I got it, because I just want to see what role Unicron's supposed to play into it.
Yeah, they're supposed to
And
be
see,
introducing them, right?
that's
I
what
thought I
has
read
me
something like that.
that's what has me worried is the Unicron thing. Like, I feel like that's a sign of things coming to an end. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Want to know something? Let me touch upon something there right quick. It took what was it? It took Marvel 7 years to bring Unicron in. It took Dreamwave like what is it, 1 to 2 years. IDW's taking them. What are we in 2018?
Yeah.
Which is
What, 10 or
not
11
really
years?
bad.
11, 12, something like that.
12,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's not, but still, like, at the same time, it's just, like, oh, like, there's still, like, I feel like there's still so much more that they can do and tell. But, like, my only thing is, like, you don't bring in Unicron unless you're getting ready to wrap things up. Like, there is nothing else bigger after, it seems like Robert's stories are, starting to kind of thread up pretty quick,
Hmm.
like the whole deal with more than finding the Knights of Cybertron. Now it seems like everyone's finding the Knights of Cybertron. And it could just be really good marketing on IDW's part for Lost Light, but like Lost Light's like, well, this next issue, like, you take it all with like a grain of salt, but like, oh, well, Rodimus and the crew don't know where they are, but they're going to be here forever. And, these characters died off panel and this happened here. And, I don't know, like, I was expecting like another 57 issues out of Lost Light, but I feel like we'd be lucky to make it to 25.
Wow. So you think with the whole Unicron thing, like that they're just gonna wind up wiping the slate clean? Like either it's finishing or they're gonna start over and do something new?
That's what I think. I mean, and I feel like that's a Hasbro mandated thing. Like, I think that Barber and Roberts, and the rest of the creative team at IDW, I feel like they have so much more left in them. And then, like, that's it's only going to be like a, one shot, instead of a mini series.
That'll suck if corporate stepped in and is like mandating stuff like that. Like they should just let these guys create the stories they want to create with these characters, because that's what led this franchise to be popular again, at least as far as like with these books,
I was
and the
getting ready to
fiction.
Man,
say
like
the same
more
thing.
than meets the eye. Whenever it was coming out, it was on like several like top, top 50, top 100, top 25, top whatever, very high up on. I mean, as far as like what you need to be reading, and it went from that, and like, and I don't think Lost Light's anywhere close to it. They're just not having the impact that they did.
It sucks.
Yeah, that's
Actually,
becoming a problem. Hasbro should not have their hands in anything comic book related.
Well, I don't want to say that. Like, I get property. They own it. I feel something I would want to do everything I could to make sure it was promoting what I wanted it to promote, like as far as toy sales and things like that. But like, it's just like I've been like preaching this ever since it happened. Like, I feel like with Hasbro, whenever Hasbro like took away the con and the club and all that other stuff, like they don't give a shit about us. Like, those of us that are, in this higher age bracket, like even me, like, I'm in my mid-20s, but I feel like the Unicron thing is gonna be the end game, and they're gonna wipe clean, and we're gonna get a bunch of like Robots in Disguise, Rescue Bots comics from there on out, like that kind of level of storytelling.
that'll suck.
But like,
Hopefully
I always think like the worst case scenario too. So
hopefully not. I don't know if they just need to start fresh again, and maybe just, even though they really just did that, almost it's not even a year and a half ago now. But just maybe, just put something and slap the name Transformers back on it. maybe one book and not all these, different titles, and just kind of keep it a little bit more focused. Like, I don't know if that's what they need to do, but
Dude,
I would
honestly,
hope they don't stop
I love
telling stories,
the 2-book mentality. I dig it. Like, I wish they were like every other week. Like one week Optimus Prime comes out, skip a week, the next week Lost Life.
Yeah.
But now, like, with the recent schedule, they've both been coming out on the same day. Like, I don't want to wait a month between stories. That's what I liked whenever and it was like, RID, More Than Meets the Eye, Till All Are One. Like, it was just the whole month was reading Transformers books, kept it fresh and alive.
Yeah.
But
that's been going on, if I may. That's been going on for a long time with comics, man. Then you get like a good book that sells. Oh, let's do another one there to this, and let's tie in this one. Let's do another one there for that.
Yeah.
Shit, that just gets to be too much.
It was happening with Superman for years. Like, when I was collecting After Crisis on Infinite Earths, like, he had 3 titles because it was Superman, Adventures of Superman, and then Action Comics. And then they eventually added Man of Steel, which is a 4th book. So that's 1 book per week. So I loved it, because all the stories and all those issues interacted with each other. So it was like every week you got a new story. But it is confusing when you got that many books coming out, all the time.
Yeah, they're relaunching that. They're bringing that back. I just found out they're bringing back Man of Steel. I'm like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah,
but, like,
they already got a few Superman titles.
That's why I like the way that Transformers did it. Like, especially when you have something like Transformers, which has hundreds of characters to choose from. You can split them across different books. Like, you don't have to have one book with 150 characters trying to, fight for the spotlight.
And that was the major problem with Dreamwave. They kept doing it. If you really think about it, it went from that to, okay, I understood War Within. But they went from that to Energon to this to that, and they were just pumping out Transformer books like crazy. It's like, man, dude, really? Shit.
And then they just stopped.
Man.
Stopped coming out. I was waiting for Optimus Prime month. I don't know if you remember it when it was coming out back then, but I think like Transformers, the last issue that they put out was number 10 of the ongoing series, and issue 12 was supposed to be Optimus Prime month, like when Prime.
Yeah, I was pissed. I was pissed.
What happened?
I'm like, dude, y'all are building up this whole thing, and you mean to fucking tell me that you guys once again, now we have to go what? Another 8 years? It took. Yeah, it was 8 years. Yeah, besides, let's throw the convention shit out. 8 years. No Transformer comics.
Yeah.
The last Transformer comic was 94.
That
Generation 2.
Yeah. I had loved all that stuff, but it wasn't selling. That series ended quick.
Yeah.
To be fair, there weren't really a whole lot of convention comics that came out between then. Like, there was one in 97, 99, and then, 2000 through 2004, which at that point, Dreamwave had already, picked up and it started doing things.
Well, that was because of see, here's the thing. No one talks about Wizard. Wizard played a key role there in this. When they did the big 80s thing, and it was like, man, and once we start seeing new artists do what they were doing, it was pretty cool, so it's like, damn,
Yeah, I still really enjoy going back and reading some of these those like older books. Like, I've got the Target 2006 trade. Mm-hmm. And like I had bought it because I thought that they had completely redone the art. Like, I didn't know that they just touched it up. Like, I thought it was like newly drawn and everything like that. But then, like, I picked it up and I was like, oh, this is just 80s Marvel UK stuff. These cylindrical blocky robots, like But like, I'd seen like that all that like additional artwork by like Nick Roche and Josh Bertram. I was like, oh, sweet. They let those guys just redo Target 2006. That's great. But that wasn't the case.
No,
they just did like a couple of extra covers, which, I mean, those like, it was still worth the buy just for that alone. And like I've got the first 5 issues of the run from the '80s, in physical format. The others, probably.
Yeah.
Them UK books are hard to get. Very hard to get.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all things considered, we're quite a bit of ways from the UK. I'm sure like they're pretty easy to find in the UK, but
Yeah. I have a few of those collected editions for the UK books, and then I'm sure like I'm only missing like about 6 or 7 books from that Marvel like '80s run. Otherwise, I pretty much have a complete run of that.
Yeah,
it's been a
I
while.
bet that's
though,
hella impressive, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice, but I'm getting out of all that, like the physical stuff. I mean, I have it and keep it. It's all in my mom's like house and stuff, but I'm eventually gonna have to either like grab it and put it in storage or get rid of it, and I can't keep it.
Don't get rid of it. You'll regret it. Don't get rid of it.
I know. So I don't know. I'll see what's
I
up.
would at least complete the run and like enjoy it in that physical form, and then, profit.
Yeah.
Dude, the first issue that I stumped, like issue number 1 of Transformers, it was back when I was working my shitty casino job the first time, and some dude that like cleaned houses and like attics and did all this like odds and ends type stuff. He was just fiending for a 20 to gamble with, so he came in with a stack of comics, and like I got a bunch of like Thors and a few Captain Americas and stuff like that, and I saw that issue number 1 of Transformers, so I got all these books and I paid him a 20 for it, and like that was probably the best decision I ever made, like, I guess investment wise. So
yeah, we've had a few.
In my
of those,
local,
we had a few of those come through the store. Same story, Dakota. Just somebody that wants $20 for whatever, and they bring you a nice long box full of goodies.
they either want to gamble it all away, or they need a little bump or a 40 or something like that. Yeah, shit's awesome.
Oh man, no, taking me back. I always wish like that I would catch those guys outside first before they came into the store, because then I'm like, damn, I could have had those books.
Yeah.
I kind of do. I could have easily gave the guy a 20.
A friend of mine, he works at like a secondhand store like that, and it's for like books and games and stuff like that. I'm not gonna say what the store is. I'm not gonna say his name. I don't want him to get put on blast or anything like that. But he does that shit. Like someone will come in with like some old like either PlayStation game or Nintendo, something that's like, increased in value for whatever reason through the years. And he'll be like, look, I can give it to you like through the store for this. I'll meet you out in the parking lot and I'll give you this for it. So they'll go like they'll go do a deal in the parking lot like it's a fucking drug deal.
Yeah.
Shit's hilarious. He'll wait for his manager to go to the bathroom or something like that. And he's like, I'm going to step outside for a smoke. Dude doesn't even smoke. So,
that's funny.
We were kind of like on the topic of action figures earlier, and I guess that'll lead us into the topic for the evening. Do you feel like action figure representations of comic book characters is that a good spot for you? And I guess I'll go first because like I don't feel that they are. Like I feel that they're still too many years behind current look. Like even Marvel Legends. Like I feel like the only thing that they really do a good job at is getting us, the movie look fairly early on. Opposed to like, and like I'm mostly a 3 3/4 inch collector anyways, but I do dabble in the 6-inch. But like just recently we got the Secret Empire Nick Spencer run of Captain America, like that suit in the 3 3/4 inch line. And like well after the book had come out. I want to say that came out like at the end of that toy came out at the end of last year, I think, or something like that. When I feel like it maybe could have been better off if it came out when the book was actually like on shelves, and like now Cap is back in his classic, outfit, red boots and everything.
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't know if like you guys had kind of felt the same. I mean, of course, like, we can talk about like Transformers not being comic accurate all day long, but I still feel like it's a problem that kind of plagues even superhero action figures. Hot toys and things like that excluded.
Mhm. Yeah, it's probably you probably see these companies catering to what's like popular. So like you said, Marvel Legends, we get like a lot of the movie stuff. Like I already at this NJCC that we were just at, I saw some Infinity War figures, and it's like wow, like, and then the movie's not out yet.
Yeah,
So with stuff
and
like
Thor
that, they're
has
on
both
the
of his eyes.
yeah. So stuff like that, like they're kind of like on the ball, but then, maybe certain other things they're not. I guess, maybe with that Nick Spencer run, maybe they didn't anticipate, maybe the character design being popular. So they had to kind of, go in there after the fact because they didn't have any plans for an action figure. Like, who knows? But, I think for as far as like representation of characters as a whole, we're getting a lot of stuff, between Marvel and DC and now these import companies making these higher end versions of these figures. Like, you might be hard pressed to find a specific version you like, but all these characters are getting very, very nice, figure
Yeah,
representation.
I know, like with Figure Arts, and Figma too. I want to say that you're getting a lot of, and Revoltech as well. Like it's crazy, like how many companies are throwing their hat in the ring at that six, especially at the 6-inch scale, which I get is the more popular scale. With me, like I'll always be in 3 3/4 inch guy.
Yeah.
But no, like there were plans for that Nick Spencer Captain America. Like I remember seeing it at Toy Fair shortly after that book had been released. It's just I wish they could work a little closer with him,
Yeah. Yeah.
A little closer with the comic, the comic books and like the artists and things of that sort. Like, hey, here's some wardrobe changes. So why don't you guys go ahead and start on this from the toy aspect, and that way we can kind of get the toys hitting the shelves before then.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like sometimes, like I guess with the movie properties, that's apparently that's what they do because like, we got these figures before like the movie's even out in regards to like Infinity War, but maybe the comic book stuff is not given as much priority, I guess, as the movies.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess to kind of like play devil's advocate for myself, like they probably had a good idea, if not, a complete look at what these characters were going to look like for the movies, because, the movies probably started, what did it start filming, like a year ago, 2 years ago, something like that, or a year and a half or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's about when action figure production would have started from the 2D point. Where comic books, it's 2 or 3 months to idea to full print.
Yeah. Is it that fast? Damn. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm sure like that, different stuff planned out like in advance, but it's all dependent like on the artist and the writer. Like sometimes, the artists, how many books ahead are they, when these things are coming out? Like it's not always consistent, So
I know every now and again tweet out like which particular issue of Lost Light that he's working on at the time. It's been a while since I've seen, since I've really been on Twitter, to be honest, but it's also been a while since I've seen like which, particular issue he's talked about writing and like where we are comparatively. I know it's no more than like 3 or 4 months at that.
Yeah, because I guess over time you get to know the cadence of like the artists and what they can or cannot handle. Like you have guys like John Romita Jr. who's been in the industry for 20 plus years, and he could crank out like probably 3 issues a month. You know what I'm saying? Like he just draws that fast, where certain people need 2 months to put out 1 issue.
Right.
So yeah. But I guess with the guys like that, Jim Lee is kind of like that. That's more meticulous. He needs time. So I think with guys like that, they make sure they have at least 6 to 8 to maybe even 12 issues like in the can before they even start promoting that first issue, just to make sure there's no interruption in like the run,
Right.
And that they hit their deadlines.
That's totally smart. That's definitely smart.
Yeah.
So
yeah, man.
I guess Walter had to drop out. Like I know he said he was he was gonna have to leave at some point.
Yeah, you have to go to work. Got to make those ducats.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Like dude. Oh my God! Like I've been like looking at like finances and things. I try to like pre-budget for the year because I typically know what I'm gonna buy. But then like third-party companies start throwing curveballs. They're like, "Look what's coming out," and I'm like, "Shit."
Yeah. Well, you know what? I kind of like the practice now that we're not getting to see like a ton of stuff. Like when we get a reveal and then it seems like it drops like not too long afterward. Like I like that approach better than seeing some of this stuff like a year, 2 years in advance sometimes, and then it's like, oh, you're still waiting.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, like that's like I feel like MMC kind of has a good handle on that. Like we didn't see their Thunder Clash until what was it, like TFCon USA last year? So like back in October.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's dropping.
It's about to drop.
Yeah, it's dropping next month. So
that's what I mean. Like, it's nice when you don't have to wait. You see something and then you don't have to wait a year plus for it.
yeah, oh yeah, without a doubt. But it's just like on one hand I want all of it now. On the other hand, I'm just like, you can just space that out a little bit. That'll be fine. But then I'm like, dude, how long until we see their Grimlock? Like, I bet it'll be a year from this month before it gets in everyone's hands, which sucks.
Oh yeah, because we already saw the images of it. Yep, and it looks on point too. Like, but a retool of the Megatron though. It looks like so.
Supposedly there are no parts from their Megatron used.
Oh no.
Yeah, it looks like it in some areas, but according to I want to say he's the dude that like does the color layouts. There are no reuses from their Megatron. Speaking of their Megatron, I wish they would just put out the Tyrantron, like just the body, so I can utilize all those spare pieces to get my Origin Megatron. Throw them in with my DJD.
Yeah, that was a nice one. Nice piece. That and the Coulter and stuff. So looking forward to what they got. MMC stuff, it's usually on point. The Rodimus that they put out is really nice. They're hitting all the repaints and the Thunder Clash. It's a retool of the Coulter. So if it's anything like that, it's going to be a nice figure as well.
Oh yeah, and I mean just with it being another Lost Light crew member, like that's my end game. Like I am collecting some of the like Optimus Prime characters, but I'm definitely all about the Lost Light crew. I actually went SXS for my hot rod.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because that does look like Nick Roche's artwork more than the MMC.
It's got it's got a little bit of Roche, a little bit of Milne, and then like they're doing the Lost Light colors, which I feel looks it looks a lot like how Lawrence draws him too. Jack Lawrence draws him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to that one coming out whenever it comes out. But.
Yeah, a bit more stylized. I noticed that one, the SXS one.
Yeah, I mean I had the MMC one. It's a fantastic figure. Like
I love it.
It's not bad by any stretch, but
yeah. It's good, but definitely that other one kind of hit that comic mark, just like a bit more as far as the aesthetics,
Yeah, nice. Like it also has like a more difficult transformation. Like the torso is just like it's crazy, just how streamlined they were able to get this thing to look and transform. It looks like an action figure, and then you're like, oh, panels move.
Yeah. Is there anything that's upcoming that you're looking forward to as far as releases?
The Thunder Clash for sure. Other than that, man, like that's it as far as like what's been released. Like, what we know a release date for. Like, obviously, I want to finish my DJD. And can't wait for their Grimlock so I can add to my scavengers. Masterpiece Dinobot, of course. Dinobot and Shadow Panther. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing like and I know it's released, I just haven't seen it yet, but the Cable from the new X-Men wave. That thing looks awesome. Like I got the Cable they released a few years ago, which was definitely more video game Cable looking. But I'm just a big fan of Cable, so anytime they release a Cable, I try to get my hands on it.
Yeah, I don't remember if Dom had that one at this last show. He usually has everything. I don't remember seeing that one.
Yeah, I normally have my buddy Mike hook me up because he knows a lot of people, a lot of the like store managers and stuff like that up in Little Rock.
Mhm.
So like I literally I have a pile of loot sitting at his house. Like I'm just sending him payments for. Like we'll meet up every now and again, and like he'll just bring a trunk load of toys for me. So it's
Nice.
always nice. Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool. It's been kind of dry though too. Like, you try to think like, okay, what's coming out like Transformers wise? Like, I'm not looking forward to like a lot. Like I know the Fans Toys putting out like the RC. Um, I think that's next month, like you said, the Thunder Clash. But it's like, nothing that I'm looking to rush out and buy. Like
right.
I ordered these unrustable guys. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm looking
How do you
forward
like
to that.
those? I've heard
I think they look really good, man. I haven't
yeah,
messed with the actual bike like myself, but I do have the little prospect figure, and it's super posable. It's that 3 3/4 scale that you like, So I think that's something that you'd probably be into.
yeah.
Because those little prospects, they transform into the chest of the bigger robot, and I like the whole concept of just the robot biker gang.
I like the fact that it's an original design.
Original content. Yeah, and
Yeah,
and it looks at the quality of the figure. Like of all the videos I've seen, they say the quality of the figure is excellent, and it's that MMC style. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
it's stylized.
so, like I kind of that's what's been drawing me to it. So, they have a sale going on the website, and I went all in, bro. I did the 850 package, so I
Oh,
got 10
nice.
bikes coming to me. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to checking those out. But after that, there's nothing else. Like I'm like, okay, like, the Thunder Clash, the RC, if I jump on that like right away, which I probably will. But
Right.
other than that, there's nothing like on my radar. So, I'm just gonna try to just enjoy the downtime and enjoy kind of like the figures that I got.
Which I mean, we say we have downtime, but like convention season is fastly
Right around
approaching.
the
Like
corner.
I'm
Yeah.
sure we're gonna like in June, July. Like I'm sure we're gonna get some more drops. Some more teasers, some more pre-orders going up. And
Yep.
then we'll get it again in like October ish, that area.
Yeah.
There'll be some stuff that'll have to come out in like December and things like that. So, but
There's
like yeah,
always
just as
always
far as like the
something.
retail game goes, like I'm with you, man. I'm just not feeling anything retail coming out.
Mhm. Nothing,
So
nothing out there that's catching my eye, So,
it's a shame.
yeah.
It's a shame.
Hopefully it changes. Hopefully we get some reveals soon, and we're like, oh yeah, get excited.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, man, I'm hoping for another like out of left field San Diego Comic-Con, like that Revolution box set that
Mhm.
Hasbro put out last year. You know, completely out of left field. No one saw it coming, and that was probably one of my most favorite purchases that I made last year. I love that box set.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's sweet, man. That's sweet. Yeah, I
And
can't. Well,
apparently, it sold out between the three shows that they had it at. They had it at SDCC, HasCon, and some kind of Canadian Canada Fan Expo or something like that.
hmm hmm
And it sold out at all three shows. So
yeah, I don't think it lasted. Did they make it available on the website? Because I don't even think if they did it, it didn't last long there either.
yeah, I was gonna say I take that back because it didn't sell out at San Diego Comic Con. The leftover stock they put up on the website sold out.
It was gone there. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow,
so
it's good stuff. You want to
hopefully
wrap
these
up there?
exclusives spread. Yeah. I think that'll be good. We had a pretty good show tonight.
Yeah.
So I actually, you haven't hit stop, have you?
No,
Did you watch last night's Walking Dead?
I have not. I'm actually
Okay.
2 episodes behind, and my girl's like, "Come on, let's watch it." And I'm like, "All right, all right." And I'm like, I haven't been in a rush.
I
Anything
got you.
good?
Like I haven't watched it yet either, but like I saw Tommy had posted earlier today. He was talking about how it was just slow and boring. I
hmm
didn't know if you'd seen it yet and got the same kind of.
See, so I was wondering because that seems to be if that's like what somebody said. I haven't seen anybody else talking about it or being like, "Oh, have you seen the episode?" Yet. So like I used to before, like years ago. Like I'd see somebody be like, "Oh, did you see it?" And I'm like, "No," or "Yeah." Um, but it doesn't seem to have that same kind of like hype anymore. And then you see the trend. It's always the trend that they talk about. It's they come back from a mid-season, break, and that premiere episode, it dealt with Carl this time. You saw what happened, and then, then you get back into the slow episodes until it picks up again towards the finale. So this season wasn't really like that. You did have a couple of slow ones, but it was pretty quick pace and exciting for the most part. But
I know, man, I was excited, but I don't know. Like I'll have to
hear if it slows down again. Like it just sucks. Like they shouldn't. They should just keep the momentum going and finish out the season strong. Do whatever you got to do to, just pick it up, because to me it is getting like a little tired. Like the formula is just like, all right, like enough. Like I'm getting tired of it. So we'll see what happens. We'll watch the last two that I haven't seen, and then for the next show I'll hit you with my thoughts.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, I'm probably gonna watch it after we finish up here, but like I still have like Agents of Shield to watch. I have like I'll watch shit like Designated Survivor and X-Files and stuff like that. So I got plenty from last week that I still need to catch up on. Like Blind Spot, I still need to watch. So
yeah, I gotta catch up with all my stuff too, because I still watch like Arrow and The Flash and Legends and all that. Like The Flash is the only one I make sure like I watch like on time and keep up with it right away. But the few other shows like Black Lightning and the other shows that they have, like I gotta watch like the last couple episodes. So
yeah, sometimes I try to do what I can to like save up for a good binge. So like I've been like checking out other things to watch or whatever, but like I gotta finish Jessica Jones still. I mean, I know last time when we recorded, like it kind of talked about watching it. I think I'm on episode 5, and like honestly, dude, I'm enjoying it a lot more than the first season.
Mm-hmm. I saw the first episode and I thought it was all right, but that was the only one I watched because I was like, I just gotta make sure that I give this show the time, to watch it, and that I'm not like all distracted, and then I'm like, I don't like what I'm watching, like I want to kind of give it a fair chance, and if it doesn't hold my interest, then at least I could be like, hey, I gave it a fair chance,
Right. Like the first season, I binge watched it. Like almost all the other Netflix, Marvel shows and seasons, I binge watched them.
Mm-hmm.
And when I binge watched season 1 of Jessica Jones, it put me to sleep like 3 or 4 times. And it's not that I had done it, coming down off a binge or, with no sleep or whatever. It was just like that boring. But this season, the only reason I haven't done a binge is just because like I've been working, every day since the release. So I've been trying to, watch what I can. But it's been pretty good, pretty interesting.
All right, cool. Well, I'll definitely watch a few more, and then we could maybe talk about it on the next episode.
Oh, yeah. So, all right. Well, until then, Jose, where can people find you?
You can find me all over social media at HarricanBX, and check out Breaking the Mold every single Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel. We're also on audio, iTunes, Google Play, and all that stuff, so check us out.
Everywhere, worldwide. You can find me everywhere at Primal Sabbath. I'm also on a couple other podcasts myself, such as I almost said this one, but this is Information Creep. Like it's so like it gets so convoluted. Like especially when I do all of them like so close together. But Stasis Lock is one of them, so you can check that out. And Off the Runner, which is another one, just kind of fun building Gundams and bullshitting podcast. And not necessarily Gundams, just like model kits, but. So you can check that out. We're normally joined by Greg. Greg from Mercy is where you can find him and all of his wacky antics online. Walter was in here earlier. You can find him everywhere at Walter in the groups. And we're normally also joined by Spiros, trying to like get a good day to get Spiros in. It's been a while since he's been here, but he's mostly found online as well, and he's part of the Toy Detox team, so you can find him there. He's been selling a lot of cool shit at a lot of good prices. I just bought the render form tailgate like hoverboard thing from him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, dude, like I got in there in the nick of time because like 3 other people hopped in and were like, "Damn, I wanted that hoverboard," and I'm like, "Yes."
I was eyeing it too. So.
So, anyways, cool dude. Hopefully he could join us soon. But other than that, that's that. So we'll see you guys next time. Hooray!
All right.
Good night.